In Boise, the color blue isn't just a shade, it's a standard. But while the world knows the blue turf, a new powerhouse has claimed the digital frontier. And tomorrow, this team heads to the 2026 PEC National Championship to claim immortality among the nation's elite. At the center of it all, the man they call Doc. Welcome to Bronco Talk. I'm your host, Nick Wade, and I am joined by Sam Gillette of Sam Talk Sports.
Hey, Nick, it's good to be back on. You nailed it with that intro. We're about to talk to one of the greatest to ever do it. You've heard of the Gateway Arch being the gateway to the West. Well, Boise State has their own arch in the form of Doc Haskell, the gateway to esports relevance. Doc, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys, Sam, Nick, thank you for having me on. This is really cool. Appreciate you talking about our national championship run and hopefully what's next.
Well, Doc, you're heading into the PEC National Championship. What does this moment mean for your program, and how have the Broncos prepared for the stage?
Well, I mean, the key to any good team is proper preparation, discipline, and commitment. And we've done the preparation. All of our players and coaches are fully committed to the mission. And now we just have to see we've got the discipline to execute. These are the best teams in college esports. Michigan State, Ohio State, Kansas, Nebraska, Baylor, Minnesota, Syracuse, Utah, the best of the best. And so when we take these schools on, we stand up against them just like we do in football. And the difference is we're playing 4 games here in Vegas over the next 3 days to crown 4 different title championships, and we want to take them all home.
And how would you do competition level of collegiate esports at the national championship level?
I mean, these are the best of the best. These are all scholarship students here at their universities because they're the best of the best. All well coached, great programs. I mean, when you think of the schools that I just mentioned, you know they're power schools. They take everything seriously, so they come serious, ready to try to beat us, and we prepare for them in the same way.
All Bronco Nation is going to be hopefully watching on Twitch tomorrow. Are there any matchups that you're looking forward to as far as entertainment value?
The next one. It's always what's next. We don't have rivals. We are our own rivals, right? Complacency and energy are the number one rivals. But if you're looking for a school matchup, Overwatch opens against Nebraska tomorrow. Valorant opens against Minnesota, most likely. They've got a 9-10 play-in game that they've got to hit first. And Rocket League will take off on Saturday with the opening match. I should have this top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's Kansas.
All right. Now, it's 2026 really been a no-doubt year at Boise State. You dominated the Mountain West, took down Ohio State, secured the top seed in Valorant, the 2 seeds in Rocket League and Overwatch, and the program best 5th seed in the Smash Bros. Does this feel like the peak of the program?
No, not yet. We've got a lot to prove. I mean, this is there's no trophies for the stats you just listed. So we've got to prove it here, and not a single player is looking past the next match. I mean, it really is the what's next mentality. We have to approach every game, every round, every map like it's got a life and a history of its own, unaffected by success or failure, and never satisfied. And when we do that and play with an attitude and an edge, we can beat anybody that's here.
We just watched Michigan dominate the NCAA tournament with a balanced attack. What does a balanced attack look like on the esports level?
Let's pick a game. So I'll say Valorant for us. I mean, they're all there, but so for for Valorant, a balanced attack is that we've got lots of good players who understand what their role is in a given map based on what they're playing. Are they a controller? Are they a duelist? What is their job once we set up and take a point? Or what is their job? What do they communicate, and how do they play the playbook that we have on a defensive set? So balanced is making sure that we are not just focused on offense, defense in this with the same attention, but that everybody understands what their job is and they need to do it. And a lot of people don't know that about esports. So like, wait, there's jobs. Yeah, at the highest level, everybody has a very specific job that they've got to do under certain conditions, and we have to talk about those all the time. We have to script them, talk about what happens when they fall apart, and play them just like you would basketball or football.
Let's talk about your leaders. You've got the MATA effect, and leaders that support all across the program. Is it even possible to hone in on one single player as an X factor for this PEC championship?
I'll give you a couple names, not because they're like favorites or because they do something that somebody else doesn't, but they've stepped up and done things that they needed to do. They did their job. You mentioned MATA, the MATA effect. Eric has been a phenomenal add to the team this year. He stepped up into a leadership gap from two graduating seniors and has led this group to some unbelievable wins. Went from 0 wins a year ago in the Mountain West to playing for a conference championship this year. That's the MATA effect. In Valorant, senior, who you're going to hear even more about this weekend, Wyatt Morrison, who was, if you've seen the Above the Line series, he was a player who was we weren't sure if he was going to make the start, if we were going to get him into a starting role. And not only is that, he's the top ranked player in the Power Esports Conference this year. And is going to be named an All-American this weekend, which I was able to tell him yesterday on his birthday, which delighted him. For Overwatch, there are a bunch, but we have to mention Jonathan Foraker, who's a graduating senior, has been a pro player, led his team the other night to a Mountain West title. His 4th in a row, our 6th in a row as a program in Overwatch, not possible without his leadership. And in Rocket League, I'll mention another soon-to-be All-American, Cade Hall, who's just been the anchor of his team for the last 2 years. A lot of great players. He's had to step up and be a leader in the absence since we graduated Gabriel Reynolds Gill a year ago. Those are 4 players: MATA, Clear, Master, which is Wyatt, and Woozy, as players who've stepped up on each of those teams in a way that has allowed their team to get here. They're not always the highest scorer or fragger, but they are amazing players who give everything for their team. That's that commitment piece, right? They're committed to the role that they've been given or that the role that they've accepted, and they have to have the discipline to execute those things. And if we do those things, then the people we bring in can build a national championship run.
And those are the things that Sam likes to call the Haskellades. A lot of honors there for your team. Now we've had you on the show quite a bit, and you're an incredibly competitive person. Yes.
Yeah.
You're one of our favorites. Yeah.
It's a problem.
With that in mind, is there any specific team that may keep you up at night, scheming and figuring out ways to put your leaders in the best position to win?
So you ask a really good question that a lot of people struggle with, like, who scares you? Who are you worried about? And fear is a killer in a competitive environment, right? You have to understand that people are always going to bring things. But here is the secret, is there's no opponent that we will face that keeps me up at night. Because the opponent doesn't matter. I'm sure you've heard me say this. What we do to prepare matters. And so if we are properly prepared, then we're not afraid. we're not afraid of anything. We've done the work that we need to put ourselves in position. If we don't come out on top, it's because somebody brought something like an individual performance that is exemplary, right? The only team that can beat us is ourselves, right? The only team that can beat us is the Broncos. And if we approach it that way, then there's nobody that we're scared of. Now, I will tell you that there's always an enjoyment when you get to see how sharp your iron is against some other iron. And so Utah, AJ Dimmick and their Overwatch team has been phenomenal. They won one of the first national championships in 2019 in Houston. Got to go down there before we even had a real strong and competitive Overwatch team. Watch them win that championship. They're really good. That's a team that we're excited to see how sharp our iron is against. Baylor, right? Who had a perfect season in the PEC. But when we were in Hawaii, we beat them. And we got them again in the championship, and they ended up beating us 4-2. But we have circled this opportunity to come back and play them on a Sunday here in Vegas, and like our chances in that. So there are some teams. Nobody keeps us awake at night. We're not scared of anybody. The only thing we ever get concerned about is if we don't prepare ourselves or we're not as locked in as we need to be. That is not the case this week. I promise you that.
So, how does the Boise State culture and that blue turf mentality translate to esports? And do the players feel the same Bronco pride competing online?
Yeah, and it's been scaling for them all season, right? I mean, at first they felt that initial kind of, ooh, this is cool, but right, what does it mean? It is the most powerful part of our program is that blue turf thinking. It comes from Jeremiah Dickey. It comes from Cody Gogler, right? It comes from Heather Berry. It comes from that entire group in athletics, who is continually pushing. I mean, every time I see our athletic director, Jeremiah Dickey, he's running out ground balls. We'll say he's running out ground balls, right? I'm sure it is. He's finding himself in very inelegant, unflattering, just hard work every day. But it's that solving those problems thing that is universal in a blue turf culture, and it comes from him. It comes through his amazing staff over there, and it is infectious to our players, right? We see what's happening on all the other teams, and beach volleyball is tearing it up again right now, right? Soccer had another crazy run. We're out at these games as a team rooting on those other Broncos because you just can't help. I mean, it's it's infectious. It's Bronco 19. It moves through the air. It'll infect you.
Yeah, I was able to watch the girls play beach volleyball down in Fort Worth a couple weeks ago. Good stuff.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest misconception about collegiate esports, and how is Boise State helping to legitimize this as a real athletic and academic endeavor?
So Kurt Melcher always used to say it as, it's not it's not Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew and Funyuns in mom's basement. I mean, it's team everything, right? I mean, it is the field is different. It's digital, but the process is the same. It is practice. It is communication. It's plays. It is film review. It's personal evaluation. It's team evaluation. It's scouting. It's recruiting. It's everything that you would expect of any other sport that you know. And if you do the things that the best programs in the nation, the Boise States, the Indianas, the Alabamas of the world do, if you do those things with esports, you can be successful. But it's really hard work. Everybody would like to be able to do it. It's another thing to put in 12, 13, 14 hours a day. And that's it's not self-aggrandizing. That is backbreaking work. But a couple times a year, it comes to a place where you can see if you had the right plan, if you had the right people, and you put them through the right process.
Yeah. What's been the biggest difference now that esports is part of athletics at Boise State?
I mean, we get to just open that tap and get the culture right.
Yeah.
I can ask Jim how things are going. I can reach out to Leon Rice and ask him about something. We've got access to help solve some of the problems that we have. I mean, and they're simple, like just logistical problems. So how do you get how do you get this equipment to an event when you're flying everybody? It's too big to fly, right? Like little
Yeah.
things that we just haven't had solved yet. All the way to I think we've got a recruit that's committed that we may not be able to successfully coach into a winning position because of things we've learned about this person. What's the next conversation? Like the coaches are willing to have those conversations with us, and just access to understanding the culture, and just constant cheerleading. The belief, Cody Gogler says that Boise State is the best esports program in the nation, and he'll argue with anybody who says otherwise. And when you have that kind of confidence from a deputy AD, come on, that's a superpower of its own.
Right.
It's great support. So you've coached national champions and have many Haskellades on the front lines, bringing esports to Boise State athletics. You said it before, the titles sound all made up. What do you want your legacy to be known for at Boise State?
I don't want a legacy. A legacy is the back end of it. What I want to do is become even better at what I do than I am today. I think I've got a lot of things I've got to improve. I've got to be able to teach coaches how I want to do things. I'm not done studying and learning, so I don't want to dodge your question completely, but I don't think about legacy. I am one of the older folks in my industry, right? Most of the coaches are 15 to 20 years younger than me. Most of the directors too. But I've got another decade at least doing this. I finally, at about 46 years old, I figured out what I think I'm meant to do and meant to be. And I'm like, okay, well, you've got, 15, 18 years to see what you can do with this. So, yeah, I don't think about legacy nearly as much as I think about we're here at this weekend. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's one round at a time. It's one fight at a time. Like it has a life and a history of its own, unaffected by success or failure. Never satisfied, right? I mean, that genuinely is the way we think about it, and not to, well, how many rings or how many titles? Doesn't matter today. But someday we'll count those things and be like, wow, that was cool. I only care about one win, and it's the next one.
And that kind of reminds me, I like quotes, and just something while you were answering that, it brought up a quote that I like, and it's "Not dead, won't quit."
Yeah, not dead, won't quit. Is that Spurrier?
I'm not sure, but I really like it. That's something that I use when I wake up in the morning, and it really motivates me, and makes me feel alive, man. So you developed this program from the ground up. You could say you're the father of esports, patent pending at Boise State. So as the father of esports, what is your message to Bronco Nation as you take this team into the national championship?
You know what? Just continue to support your Broncos. You do it so well. Show up for them, and you can show up for them online by commenting on a video. Great play. You can show up for them by liking a game day post, even if your schedule is too busy to do. I mean, we play 200 plus matches a year. I mean, goodness gracious, right? That's a lot. Not compared to 13 or 14 for football. Those are a lot harder. It's a lot harder to get to 200, but they can do it that way. And they can just make plans to come and visit. I mean, we know we're going to have a big fan base here in Vegas. We brought down some cowbells from the arena so that they can feel at home here at the HyperX at Luxor. But they can just continue to show love to our players.
Just to circle back, not dead, won't quit.
Not dead, won't quit.
Richard Mack McCowicks I hope I'm
Okay.
saying that right. He's a Navy SEAL, coined that phrase.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Had to look it up. I had to be sure. Well, Doc, why don't you take a moment and describe your backdrop? Where are you at right now?
So we're at the HyperX Arena here at the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas. This is the premier esports location. We played our national championship here last year, and it is, it is the grand stage for the grandest of competitions.
And how can the masses watch you guys this weekend?
Twitch, just search Power Esports, and you'll find it this weekend, starting tomorrow at about 1 p.m. They can watch the Boise State channel for any of the B streams where they can watch the Broncos if we're not on the stage at that moment, because there are 4 brackets happening essentially simultaneously for the 4 games, and then they can just stay glued to Instagram and X for all the updates as they come through.
Yeah. I know Riley's working tirelessly behind the scenes to make
He's
sure everything
crushing
goes
it.
off.
Yeah, Riley's amazing. Yep.
Well, Doc, thanks again for joining us.
Oh,
It's
you
always
guys
a
rock.
pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. Let's try and get the whole team together when you bring home the hardware and make a big old grand show out of it.
Let's do it. And one of these days, if we do it long enough and we do it right, we'll get a parade.
Nice.
Do it. Well, thank you, Bronco Nation, for tuning in. For Doc and Sam and I, stay safe. Go Broncos.